Well, hi everyone. Another one of our fun animal encounters. We have lots of fun animal encounters here at Ararat Ridge Zoo and also our animal encounter area at the Creation Museum. We have a great staff of experts looking after our animals, and they also do presentations. And we have Miss Factoid herself. That's what we called her last time. I got that from one of the people that she works under here. And they called her Miss Factoid, so that's what I'll call her. But we might call you Karina for short. Is that okay?
Yes.
Because she has all these miscellaneous facts about things. So today we're going to let you see poison dart frogs. Yes, we have poison dart frog. In fact, the most poisonous such dart frog in the world.
In the world,
and
yes.
it's here at Ararat Ridge Zoo.
Yes, it is.
It is. But before we do that, Karina, you've got something special you want to do with them.
We do. We're going to start with a game. So kids, get your eyes ready. So we have one other animal to show you today too, but he's camouflaged. One of his best abilities is to camouflage himself because he is an ambush predator, which means he waits and he hides for prey to come to him. So we're going to have you try to guess what our surprise animal is and see if you can find him. So we're going to go look in his tank really quick, in his little exhibit.
So he's really suffered from sin and the curse, right?
Yes. Yes. So yes, of course this animal would have been an herbivore before sin, because all animals were herbivores, people were vegetarians. Before the fall, before sin entered the world, but post-fall, this animal is a voracious carnivore, and he hunkers down in the grasslands of South America and waits for food to come to him. So kids, can you guys find him? He is in there. See if you guys can find him.
Let me have a look. I see grass and
lots of grass.
I wonder if I can find him. So will we come back?
We
in a
will
little
come
bit?
back. Yep.
We'll
So
come back
we're
in a
going
minute.
to
Okay,
come back
one more
to him.
sweep across. One more sweep across for our videographer. See if you can find him. Let us know if you can find him in there and tell us where you think you saw him. And then we'll come back and we're going to
Yes.
go over and see the poison dart frogs. So, all right. You said this is a really, really vicious,
Yes. Voracious, vicious frog. Yes.
voracious, vicious frog.
Yes.
VVF.
Yes.
You sure?
Yes,
How
he
small is
is.
it? Tiny? In there somewhere? Under that log? Okay.
He
all
might
right.
be.
Right, we're going to come back over here. So, Karina, tell us what we got here.
All right, so over here we have our poison dart frog exhibits. These guys used to be on exhibit at the Creation Museum, but since the renovation, they are not currently on exhibit. So we are currently housing them in our keeper space until they are ready to go back out somewhere. So this is where we keep them. We have 3 species here at the Ararat Ridge Zoo. And like Ken said, we do have the most poisonous frog in the world. So all of these frogs belong to the poison dart frog kind, which is the Dendrobatid kind. There are about 300 species of Dendrobatids. And we have the largest and the most toxic, which are these golden poison dart frogs here. So I'm going to open this
there's a
terrarium.
picture of it.
Yep, and
The
we've got
golden poison
the little
dart
dude
frog.
sitting right here. We've got one in the back here. So these are golden poison dart frogs, and they are only found in a small section of the country of Colombia in South America. But they, like I said, they are 20 times more poisonous than all the other dart frog species.
Okay, now I have to ask you this question.
Yes.
Are these two really poisonous?
So no, that's a great question, Ken.
Okay, so they're the most poisonous dart frogs in the world, but they're not poisonous, but they are.
But they are. So these guys are under the care of humans. So the way these poison dart frogs get their toxins is from eating certain kinds of ants and beetles in the wild, and that's how they get their toxin. Because we don't feed these frogs those toxic insects, they themselves are not toxic. Now, I still wouldn't recommend licking one, but
So they're non-poisonous, poisonous frogs.
yes, they are. So one frog each carries 1 milligram of this toxin, and that's enough to kill 20 people or 2 elephants or 10,000 mice. That's just one frog can kill that many with its poison.
Okay, I'm not going to trust that it is non-poisonous at the current time.
Right, so now these are poisonous because poison is something that you ingest or absorb in order to get sick or killed. So they are not venomous, which again is injected like a snake's fangs or a scorpion's tail. These guys are truly poisonous. Now, like I said, they are the largest species of poison dart frog, and they are typically communal. That's why we have a few living together. They usually live in small groups of 3 to 10 frogs. And then these guys are really unique in that the poison dart frogs will each lay their eggs either in little tree hollows with puddles or leaves holding puddles, and they'll lay typically 1 or 2 eggs per puddle, and then the parents will come around and take care of the eggs until they hatch into tadpoles.
Interesting. Now they're often hard to see, aren't they? Because they often
Yeah.
hide, and we just happen to be able to get those two.
Yes, so the
you put some
Goldens-
food out there for them,
We
right?
do, yeah. So we do feed them fruit flies. So a lot of people wonder what we feed them. So here's a jar of our fruit fly colony cultures. We have lots and lots and lots of these jars of fruit flies. So 3 times a week, we fill up their little food dishes with fruit flies, and they'll actually come over, and you can see them flick out their tongues to catch them.
So how do you do that? Do you kill the fruit flies to put them in there?
No, we don't. We put them in there alive, and the frogs are more than capable of catching them on their own. So you can see our little food dishes in here, and
Wow,
that
those
apple.
fruit flies look so delicious. They look
Yes.
so appetizing.
Oh, yes. These guys love them. Usually when we dump them out, they'll all come on over to the dish. We do have the little apple in there to feed the fruit flies while they're in here, but we do let the frogs exhibit natural behaviors and do all their hunting themselves. So, yeah, we do dump fruit flies in there about 3 times a week, and then they can go hunt them themselves. But, yeah, you can see we've got 3 in here. They're all pretty curious. They're usually sitting up front. They sometimes even make their little chirpy noises. They can be quite vocal little animals.
Well, that's a unique opportunity for everyone out there who's watching this
Yes.
to be able to see these poison dart frogs and know that those dart frogs in their native habitat, when they have access to certain food,
Yes.
they are the most poisonous in the world. How many elephants did you say poison can kill?
1 frog can kill 2 grown elephants with just its poison. And they actually get the name poison dart frogs because the native people of South America would rub the arrowheads and their dart heads on the backs of the species. And the poison would last up to 2 years on those arrowheads, and they would use them for hunting and defense. So that's where you get the name poison dart frog.
So if you got hit by one of those arrows, you're gone.
You're gone, yeah. You are not going to last very long. Now, these guys are what's called aposematic, which means that they have really bright coloration, and it's a way for them to warn away predators. So typically, animals like to camouflage, right? They like to hide themselves from predators, but all these poison dart frogs are very bright in color, and it's basically a warning to predators to stay away. I'm really obviously colored to warn you that I'm very poisonous, don't eat me. So any predator that comes across these guys and tries to eat them is not going to do very well, except there's one snake called the false coral snake who has specially adapted itself to eat these frogs. So it's developed an immunity to that really, really strong poison, and he does eat those. So
That is amazing.
So we've got 2 more species. These guys typically are really not out. We only see them a couple times, maybe once a week. So we have our Brazilian dart frogs.
So they're going to have just to be content with the picture, right?
Yes, unfortunately, these guys are hiding. So the Brazilian dart frogs are really unique because they're the only frog species that's known to form true pair bonds in the wild, which means the male and the female stay together and raise their babies together. That's really not seen in frogs other than the Brazilian dart frogs
So
here.
it's in there somewhere.
It is.
And
We've
what's
got
this other one we have?
one more. We've got our bumblebee dart frog, also called a yellow-banded. This is also one of the larger species of dart frogs, and these guys are known for being able to withstand much more dry habitats than the other poison dart frogs. So all these guys are native to Central and South American rainforests, but these bumblebees can actually withstand much drier climates, so you can see them in drier areas because they have this ability. They'll actually go into what's called estivation, where they'll form like a membrane sac around them, and they'll kind of hibernate to get through the dry spell. And then once it moistens back up, they'll come kind of back to life. So,
There we are. Everything you want to know about poison
dart frogs.
So
All right.
How many species did you say there were altogether?
There are about 300 species of poison dart frogs, and they're all in the same biblical kind, and they're all found in Central and South American rainforests.
So, Karina, just before we go back and try to find that animal that was camouflaged and
Yes.
see if people were able to find him,
Yes.
him or her.
It's a boy.
It's a boy. It's a
Yes.
boy. Okay, we know it's a boy. Now, over Easter, you guys had to be here
Yes, I was
because
here on
somebody
Easter.
has to look after the animals,
Correct,
right?
yep.
And we have people here all the time looking after the animals.
Yes.
But you told me you celebrated Easter doing something really gross.
No. So there were 4 of us working on Easter, so that means we were here from about 8 to 5:30 because even though it's a holiday, the animals still do need to be taken care of. So myself and
Hey,
3
you know
other
what?
keepers were here.
Before you tell them the story, move over this way a little bit just so they can see one of the animals we've already featured,
Yes,
right?
this is Zakana.
And
She is a bearded
bearded
dragon.
dragon. All right, so you can continue telling your story in front of the bearded dragon there.
Okay, so on Easter, one of our female ostriches had laid an egg. They're actually in their laying season right now. Each female can lay 7 to 13 eggs on average every spring, and we do not have boy ostriches, so all the eggs that the females lay are infertile. So we decided, in order to celebrate Easter, me and the team who worked here that day, we fried up an ostrich egg, and we had an omelet brunch party, and we brought in like cinnamon rolls and mousse and hash browns, and we cooked up an ostrich egg. So one ostrich egg is equivalent to 24 chicken eggs. So it was
So
more
you
than
ate
enough to
2
feed
dozen
us.
eggs for breakfast?
No, so we split it between the 4 of us, and there was still plenty left over. If you try to eat one ostrich egg by yourself, you will get very sick.
Okay, so does it taste like ostrich?
Well, I actually have had ostrich, and ostrich is delicious, I will tell you that. But the
You don't,
ostrich...
eat, you don't eat the ones here at the zoo, though?
No. But the ostrich egg tasted just like a chicken egg, honestly. It wasn't
Really?
really different, yeah. But we had to take, it broke the bowl when we were trying to crack it. So we actually had to take like a screwdriver and a cinder block to it just to crack the shell. It's thick, it's like ceramic, so.
Where's the shell now?
I think we have it in here somewhere. It should be over here.
We
We'll
should
see
try
if,
to find it.
Oh, we got it.
Oh, here it is.
Here we go.
So this is the egg you ate?
So yes, this is the ostrich egg that we ate on Easter. So you can see we were only able to really get that much cracked of it because it's so thick. So that is the egg that we ate on Easter, and it was quite delightful. And we watched you and Ray Comfort's devotional for lunchtime.
Oh,
So
did you really?
yeah,
Oh,
that's how we
While
celebrated
eating
Easter
ostrich
at the
egg.
zoo.
I'll have to tell Ray Comfort that. You watched his devotional for Easter while eating an ostrich
While
egg.
eating an ostrich egg.
Yeah, he'll be really pleased at that, I'm sure. Okay,
All right.
so let's go back here. Let's give All the boys and girls, look again inside here, and the mums and dads. There is a camouflaged creature in here. It's a boy.
It is a boy.
So it's probably blue, right?
Made him, no, he's not. We made him a little more obvious. Can you guys find him in there?
Oh, they did make him a little more obvious for you now. Yeah.
Where is he?
So,
Oh, he moved.
He moved. There it is.
All right.
Okay, so what is it?
This is Jeremiah. Jeremiah is an ornate horned frog, also called a Pac-Man frog. Our senior zoo manager is here, Leanne. She's going to pick him up so you guys can see him. And you'll notice Leanne is wearing gloves. And the reason is because frogs are amphibians. And so their skin is very, very sensitive. And the oils and dirt and debris on our hands are not good for their skin. So we don't handle them very often. And when we do wear those gloves just to protect his skin. He does actually absorb moisture through his skin. He helps breathe through his skin, so we don't want to damage him in any way.
Now, knowing what you zoo staff are like down here and how you view all these animals, you probably think that ugly thing is beautiful.
He's so cute. I mean, look how pudgy he is. He's so squishy and pudgy. Do you not think he's cute?
I think he's ugly.
No. All right, so we're going to put Jeremiah in a little warm water bath so you guys can see him freestanding a little bit. So the reason he's called a Pac-Man frog, in addition to the normal name, which is an ornate horned frog, is because of that giant mouth he's got. So you'll see that his mouth actually takes
it looks
up...
like Pac-Man going around.
Yes, it takes up about a third of his body. And these guys, like I said before, are voracious eaters. Anything that really moves in front of them, they will try to eat. They will actually attempt to swallow things that are bigger than themselves and will not let go of them even if they die from trying to swallow it. So very, very voracious hunters.
Ornate horned frog.
Yes, and they are from the grasslands of South America.
So how many species?
In the Ceratophryiid kind, I want to say there's a couple dozen.
So it's a Ceratophryiid kind? Is that what you said?
Ceratophryiid kind.
How do you spell that? Now I'm going to put you...
Ceratophryiid.
Are you sure?
I think so. So these guys, yes, they're voracious hunters.
Kind.
So we feed him every day. He gets a variety of crickets and roaches and worms, and then once a week he actually gets a mouse.
You know, it's interesting. One of the questions, and we do this in Answers Book 1, we talk about, the Bible talks about nephesh creatures. There was no death or bloodshed of nephesh creatures before the fall. And when you look at the definition of life in the Bible, the life of the flesh is in the blood.
Yes.
So it's very possible that insects don't come under nephesh creatures.
It is possible, yes.
So maybe insects to a frog are sort of like plants to us, in a sense.
It could be, yeah. So, like I said, these guys will even eat each other. So we definitely keep him by himself. So you guys might be wondering if he's by himself. That we have to keep him by himself because he will
Can you imagine looking at someone like that and saying, I'm going to eat you?
Yeah, they will try to eat each other, so he has to stay by himself. Now, he might seem pretty big, but the girls actually do get much bigger than this.
So you ate an ostrich egg for Easter, but you wouldn't fry up this one?
So I have actually eaten frog legs before, but...
You've eaten frog legs?
Those are from, like, large bullfrogs, so pretty meaty. These guys don't really have much going for them.
So. What else do you eat at your house? I don't think I want to know. We'll keep that for another day.
Yes. So these guys actually come in a lot of different color morphs. So they can be albino. They can come in like yellows and reds and oranges. They've bred a lot of different really beautiful morphs under human care. They're relatively easy to take care of, and they're kind of fun pets, so they are popular in the reptile world for personal people to have as pets.
You mean people keep these as pets?
Yes, you can. They're pretty easy to take care of, and they live a decent amount of time, about 5-10 years, and they are excellent eaters.
Do you put a leash on them and take them for a walk like you do the goats?
No, we do put leashes on our lizards and take them for walks, but not the frogs. Again, he is an amphibian, so he has to stay in a very warm, moist environment, and so we really don't handle him very much other than necessities, and when we do wear those gloves so his skin is safe.
Well, Karina, maybe before we say goodbye to everyone, let's see if we can find those poison dart frogs just one more time.
Oh, we can try.
Okay, let's see if you can see them. Are they in there?
So our Goldens are still up front.
We can. Can you open up the front there so we can get a better view?
Say
And
goodbye
you
to our
can
little Goldens.
Yeah, you can see, oh, he moved around. Oh, but that's a good view nonetheless.
Yes. So we don't know if these are boys or girls. We know that there's at least a boy and a girl in there because they have laid eggs before, but they are very, very small and delicate, so we really don't mess with these guys. We kind of just let them be and do their own little froggy thing.
And then you can see the one on the other side too, just sitting there. It's more yellow. It doesn't have as much black on
Yeah,
it.
so they do come in different morphs. They can even be about like a mint green color, even an orange color. So they do have several different color morphs just within the species.
It's hard to get them in focus there.
There you go.
Inside that terrarium.
And we do miss them all the time. Again, they do
there
have to
we are.
stay moist. So yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you for another fascinating behind-the-scenes tour
Yeah,
here
and if you
at
guys have
Ararat
any-
Ridge Zoo.
If you guys have any questions, put them in the comments, and I will go back later tonight. Myself or my senior manager, Leanne, will go back and answer all of your questions about these frogs.
So
let
everything
us
you want to know about poison dart frogs, or you want to know about the ornate horned frog and how to keep it as a pet. Look, I must admit, I would never look at that and say, wow, I'd love to have that as a pet. I just couldn't imagine that.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Karina. And you'll go back and answer all their questions. So
Yes,
put
myself
your
or
questions in
Leanne.
there, and you and Leanne will answer them to the best of your ability.
Yes.
So that'll be great.